Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another speed build on my channel. And this one is a little bit different. It is basically a house build, and as you can tell, first here I was experimenting. I do change things a little bit, but it does sort of keep the same sort of structure almost, but some things are just changed just a tiny bit. But it is being built in San Myshuto in one of the few, like, actual house lots. But what I actually do with it is I structure it more like it's going to actually be an apartment. Or, I guess they still would be considered apartments. But basically those type of houses that have, certain sections and that are dedicated to different people. And I do already have this in my main save. I actually built this in my main save, so you'll see that I still have CC in my game. I don't use any of it, and it is already... It's not, like, uploaded live to the gallery, but I have it saved, and it still is showing that there is no CC, because sometimes I've had issues where one piece of CC sneaks in, or it's saying it has CC when it doesn't have CC when I build with it. But it does say no CC, so that is all good. And basically how I'm going to be treating this in my main save is basically like, I sort of have an idea of how much money each of these families would be making, and sort of am treating it sort of that way. So like, okay, they're all paying rent, but part of the household funds is not all belongs to everyone. And I actually will show the people that I actually move into this lot in this video, which is a little bit differently than I did, but it sort of shows the reasoning behind it. Also, I've had to speed this up quite a bit. I hope it's not too horribly sped up. Sometimes I can get a little crazy with the camera, so I'm really hoping it's not too bad, but it wasn't long enough necessarily to split in half, and I don't like splitting them in half unless I really have to. But it wasn't also short enough to try to get it as short as I wanted. I do cut out some of the landscaping and like the layout, because the layout literally, basically it is four stories. The top 2 stories are 2 apartments and the bottom 2 are 2 apartments, but their layout is done the same. So you'll eventually, just by seeing me decorate it, you'll see the layout, and you'll see the layout a lot. So I didn't see a point of necessarily showing the layout every single time. This also is going to be a build where I actually do a voiceover for the whole entire thing. I I don't on these like longer builds, just because it is a lot of talking going on all at once. But I want to try to talk to it, explain each of the apartments and how it varied for the Sims. When I was first started building this one, I didn't actually create any of the Sims yet. I had an idea in mind which, like, some of the personalities I was thinking about adding into here, but I hadn't made them yet. I do eventually, once you see the Sims, like me show the Sims, that's when I've moved them in. Right now they're not moved in. But also, I apologize for my sniffling. I woke up and my nose is just, like, running, and I thought it would go away by now, because sometimes that happens. It has not gone away by now. So, I'm trying to do the best I can, but I have to sniffle a little bit here and there. So, I apologize for that. But, so, the family you'll see very soon, actually, but I do the back, like, the outside, because the outside is, like, basically whoever owns this house or whatever that is renting these things out would have done the outside. It wouldn't have been left up to the people living there. So I did go ahead and do that before I moved them in. Also, some of the plants that are in the front actually glitch through the wall so much that I have to move them later on, but I think I cut that out, because I didn't see that being a point of me actually worrying about it. I did put 4 mailboxes. You don't really need 4 mailboxes, but it's just to represent there's 4 people, like 4 individual families, basically, living in this house or apartment complex. I have actually played this family a little bit after I've built it, and I have actually added CC in it since then. I don't have a video recording of me adding CC because I've been sort of slowly adding the CC because I've been treating it like their money. Here is the groups So there is 7 Sims, but 4 households. The first one I'm gonna do, I forget her name, but it was the redheaded girl. When I created her, originally I didn't know, like, what sort of vibe I was going for. Also, I started decorating the outside of her balcony before I started recording. I forgot to hit the record button. So that's why there's stuff already there and you hadn't seen it. But I definitely wanted to go for more of a simplistic vibe in a certain way, but not necessarily super simplistic. But she's more into, like, books and creativity and different things like that, and also being relaxed. Uh, so I do add, like, fun colors, and I do a little bit differently with her, like, build, like, her apartment than I've done with uh, previous builds before, because I do add, like, furniture that doesn't match necessarily with each other. It does to a certain extent, but not completely as a set, and I do things like that, and I normally don't do that. Because, like, when I see other people do it, it looks sort of cool, but when I do it, it irritates me for some reason. I don't really know why, but I did actually look at how hers um, turned out, and I know when it comes to the appliances and stuff in a real apartment, sometimes you don't get to choose, like, your cabinets and things like that, because those things are actually installed in. But I decided that, since this is made like a house type deal, that, it's not like full on apartments like the actual skyscraper apartments that are in San Mashuto. This is more of, like, I don't know, like, the person who owns these are basically pretty nice, and they're like, as long as you're paying for it and you don't damage it, you can put whatever countertops and stuff you want in there. So I did try to match the whole style of the countertops and everything to their personalities and fitting of the Sims. I do cut out all the bathrooms as well, just so that I could save some time. But bathrooms are bathrooms. Bleh. And the master bathrooms in these builds, because I do usually show master bathrooms, the ones that would be considered the master bathroom in these builds aren't, like, super spectacular amazing like some of my past master bathrooms in some of my builds, so I still cut those out. But and as you can see, one of the most difficult things about this build was the fact that I did still have my CC in the game. One, I really wanted to use it. Two, it took forever to actually get through and look at stuff to actually see what all I wanted, especially in decorations. But luckily for most of them, I already had a pretty good idea of, like, what I wanted to go for. Like, this girl, she's like the studio, like this, like, studious one, and, a little bit simplistic, almost not necessarily country, maybe country chic. I don't really know, but she's got a slightly different style. Again, it's different than what I usually do for any of my Sims, because it is a cute style, but it's not necessarily my personal taste, even though I do live in the country. But I definitely do like how it turned out, and I use, like, the furniture to bring some pops of color. And like I said, I didn't necessarily get ones that 100% match. They have the same colors on them, so they do go cohesively together. But at the same time, they actually don't belong to, like, a set, and they're not totally built the same. So they're, like, similar but different all at the same time. But one of the things is I did struggle with spacing a little bit, because I'm so used to building with big builds that I am used to having a whole lot of space, but for this living room area, there wasn't a lot of space at all. Because, I mean, it's not small, but it's not what I'm used to. As you can tell, I was, like, literally trying a bunch of little tiny chairs. But eventually I settled on that one. I do give her a computer desk up here and some bookcases, because, again, I wanted to emphasize, like, she is, like, she loves books, she loves reading and all that sort of stuff, and a lot of the decorations I give her are, like, books, and it took me forever. I have a lot of CC that actually is books, so I don't think she's one of them that I've added a whole lot of CC into her build just yet, but I have a lot of books that I can literally just pile all around her house, and I'm looking forward to doing that. as far as like the stuff that was in EA and in the packs, there is a lot of books, but not like a whole lot of them. But I made do with what I did, and I just sort of sat them around like clutter. Like she keeps things neat, but at the same time, she's sort of slowly becoming like a pack rat, a hoarder of books or something along those lines. And I do make her sort of a crafty person as well. I did put the don't wake the llama game. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember what it's called right off the top of my head. I did put it in there just because I was imagining like she would want to have a way to try to invite guests over, but she's not necessarily the one that's gonna have like a lot of guests. I think the career I gave her, which is a custom career as a teacher, as of right now, Get Famous is about to come out and the update is about to come out, so she may lose her career temporarily. We'll have to see, but she is supposed to be like a teacher, because I do imagine her to be like a teacher, though I feel like she'd be a slightly cool teacher. Like that sort of vibe going on, but you know, she may not be a teacher any longer in my game if I can't get the mod to rework. I've already took out my mods preparing for the update, because as I'm doing this voiceover, the update is coming out very soon. But that means no recording for my main save, because used to be you could take your CC out and go into that save and then leave that save and put your CC back in, and all the CC would replace itself. But it seems like for at least like the cast objects, like if I take CC out and I go back into the game, it just doesn't go back on, even if I put it back in. So like all my people would be walking around bald and naked. So I can't even like go into the main save until I'm able to add my CC back. Luckily, objects and custom like cast objects usually don't break as often as like the script mods, but I still am gonna wait to put them back in until after Get Famous comes out and I see that everything's working. But anyway, back to the build. So this is her bedroom. Again, I wanted to go with sort of simple stuff, but then throw like some paintings and rugs and things like that that added that pop of color. At her personal desk that she has downstairs, you see I'm adding some posters just to give it like she's into like these science-y things. Like she's like sort of all over the place, but it's all on that like brainy, genius-y side. I think one of her traits is a genius actually. But and I do start adding books again. I actually am really looking forward to being able to just add a bunch of the custom content books along with these books and just place them all over the place. I'm like, yes, I can't wait. I want to clutterify her apartment so bad. But as we know, I did not use CC in this first part so that you're able to download it. And by the time you're seeing this video, it should be up on the gallery for you to download. You can search my username, which is ArtisticGamer7, which I will have down in the description below just in case. Also, it is called, I think I called it the New Salt Apartments because I built it was like Old Salt something. So I called it the New Salt Apartments because I'm real creative with names. Yay! Anyway, so with her, she is one of the only, Sims in this grouping that lives by herself. Like, she doesn't have kids or something like that. So this room is literally just a spare room, and I decided that since I was sort of going with the little cluttery vibe, that I would just put a bunch of stuff in here and make it look like, you know, she's kept things from family members, and like she's sort of accumulating a collection over time, but she doesn't necessarily know what to do with them, especially in like this small area. So that's what that room is. It's like basically a storage clutter room. And then this room over here is like a little activity sort of room. So she's got like the woodworking and the floristry because I'm going to have her get into gardening some and doing the floristry to actually make money on like the side of her teaching job. And I add like some little pedestals so that she can display some of her stuff until like maybe she takes pictures of it and posts it somewhere for it to sell. So that's what this little area is. We'll also be going to the next apartment very, very soon. But I go back and I showed the Sims that it was for. I really wish I could remember her name right now, but I really can't. But it's the redheaded Sim that I made it for. Actually, I may have cut those out because I think after speeding it up, I didn't stay on them long enough for it to actually show them. But they were in the beginning, and I probably will be doing a recording with this household just because the girl that I'm actually doing the apartment for now, she's the other one that lives by herself, and she's actually sort of like the runaway teen. She does have 3 other adults living in this apartment area that actually sort of can be like a guidance to her. I don't know how she convinced the guy or the woman who owns this complex to actually let her rent a room. But basically, she ran away from home. She's not really into the whole her family vibe that she had going on, and she just sort of wanted to be out on her own. And how she makes a living, I basically am pretending like, you know, she she does some paintings and sells them, but she also steals. So that's how she makes her money, which is not a good thing to do, but that's how she does it. And a lot of the objects in her house are things that she's stolen. So again, this is sort of another mismatchy sort of things going on here and there because she just stole what she could to get what she can. But I'm also going with she's sort of the very rebel, very a little bit rebellious. I mean, not a little bit, she's very rebellious. I mean, she left home. But party girl sort of vibe going on. It comes more into fruition, that white table that I place in like the living room area. You can't really tell without custom content because I've already redone her apartment for sure with custom content. But I basically am pretending like that is a table used for beer pong basically. So I do put like glasses on it with custom content because there's some glasses that are at least close enough to looking like it. They're not red cups, but they're like I'm imagining there'll be plastic clear cups. I placed those on this table. So she's basically like the party girl, rebellion, I do what I want sort of person. So her house is very mismatchy, and some of the more expensive objects like the TV and things like that, I'm almost certain that those are things that she would have stolen. And also, you know, her chairs are mismatching. She's got some artwork in some places in her house that are definitely not like what you would expect her to be able to afford or to have. So you can imagine where she got those sort of things. But I did have a lot of fun actually doing her place because it was like very rundown, very trying not to use a whole lot of money, using the cheaper stuff that you can get, except for a few things here and there. I do add a lot of bottles eventually. I have to turn on BB show objects, I think, to get them to show up. And you'll probably see me doing a lot of craziness so that I can be able to put them on the top of the cabinets. Because I've seen a few, like basically, like, college apartments type things. A lot of times the alcohol is on the top of the cabinets. So that was sort of the feel I was going there. Like, you can get them, but you can't get access to them too often, and there is some down in the bottom. I think I put a few down there, but not a whole lot. But as you see, I do this because I'm making sure that I can actually use the 9 key to lift them up and actually set them up there because they wanted to auto snap to grids on the cabinet. So yeah, there's a lot of things there right now, and I even used some custom content because I was just trying to fill up those spots. But I do take that stuff out and take it down, and they still did it with the microwave there. That really baffled me. I was like, it's a microwave there. Why are you still trying to snap to inside the microwave? I eventually just take the countertops away. I don't know why I didn't think to take the countertops away in the first place to do this. Would have been a lot easier on me, but I just forgot. Whoops. So, yeah. I think I had one bottle over here just to sort of get that feel without the custom content. Like, you know what it's probably used for, but I didn't have any cups to actually be able to use that wasn't custom content, so I couldn't do that. Her 2 spare rooms, I think one is like her artist room basically, and then the other is like, I think she put a air mattress in there, is what I have, as basically like if she has someone over, they can chill out there, or you know, if they can't safely make it home, there's a air mattress for you. But she couldn't afford anything more. She might one day go out and steal a bed somehow, but I don't know how easy that would be, considering beds are pretty considerable size. So I doubt she's gonna actually steal a bed, but you never know with her. She's a little bit crazy. So, but like I said, I actually have played this household when I was earlier. She's the main one I focused on. I actually made like a club, or basically a group that is like a group of teenagers that hang out and just have fun and do whatever. And she's the leader of it, so you know, she's like the party girl, and some of the people in the group are not necessarily as crazy as she is, but they're at least close enough, or they want to sort of be like that, but they're not totally like that. One instance is Hal from my Eevee Family series. He's in that group, and I imagine like he does like the parties and the dancing and stuff like that, but he's not totally like bad boy or whatever, rebellious child, but he likes to have at least a little taste of it, basically. But I do really, I say but way too much, and though I don't think I've said that too much today. I think I've said so and but more. Anyway, totally on another topic, I do really like playing with her and that concept going on. I did play with the other households a little bit. Well, I mean, I'm calling them household, but technically it's one big household, but you know what I mean, like the other families. I did play with them a little bit, but I probably played with her the most, which is why I think her apartment area is fully CCified at this point, versus the others are slowly being CCified. But I felt like the CC actually gave the vibe that I was going for her a little bit better, just because some of the custom content I had fit her personality a lot more than some of the stuff that's not custom content. So, but you'll get to see that when I do decide to record, because I am probably going to record. I'm doing the Townie Life series. I keep switching how I'm doing it, but basically I will take any requests that y'all have for the Townie Life series if y'all want to see it, but I'll also choose some of the houses, so that ones that I think would be really interesting to go see or go visit. And I do want to go visit this one because it is like an interesting household, a like interesting dynamic. I do actually have a way that I've kept Sims out. I've locked the door for everyone but the certain family members that need to go in. And actually, I think there's a way that you can like specifically lock certain Sims from coming in. I think that's what I changed it to after I realized you could do that. And I just made it so that the other house, like the other families, couldn't get into certain apartments, so that if they had parties or something like that, the guests can easily get in without you having to unlock it and then relock it. But that's sort of what I'm going for with this household in this group. As you can see here, I'm doing the art room that she has, where she does like little art stuff, and she has a little music thing so she can listen to. She has two pull-up mattresses or whatever they are. I don't think they were the sleeping airbags or whatever they were. I don't think it was those, but it's definitely like the ones that you take camping. So, you know, still simple, easy ones that you can just, you know, have whenever you need it. But I do actually forget to do the balconies, I think, for some of them, like these outside balconies. And with hers, I didn't want to do too much because there wasn't much to do, because she wasn't going to have much furniture to begin with. Anyway, I've sort of forgotten where my last word was. I had to go do something in the middle of this voiceover. But we are in the next apartment. Now, I will say this apartment, compared to probably the other three, to certain points, isn't as detailed as the others are, but I did actually do that on purpose. It wasn't like I was getting lazy or anything like that. I actually had a purpose for not making this one totally as detailed compared to some of the others, and that is because this one is actually a single dad with 2 kids. He has a daughter and a toddler son. So, you know, not to say like every situation's like this, that there's a single dad that they don't really decorate their house too often, but the personality that I'm giving like him, he's not used to, you know, running the house on his own and doing that sort of stuff and actually decorating it and making it look like wonderful and beautiful inside. He just basically gets what he really needs. There may be a few decorations here and there. still adding posters over in her room. her apartment. But anyway, so he gets what he needs basically, and focuses more on his kids and what they want and need at the same time, versus his needs are a little, his wants are put to the side a little bit. So, like, it's not, like, super decorated, and there's more of a simplistic with childish spin side to it. And look, because he does put his kids first, so for the most part, most of the decorations that I did add, unless they're like little simple plants or things like that, for the most part it is stuff relating back to the kids. So it's like little kids artworks and kids toys and kids decorations, basically that sort of stuff. I think I was actually looking for something at this point in time. Like I think it's the little metal, it's a decoration and it's a little metal thing that has like a bunch of toys in it. I think that's what I'm looking for at this point, because I'm literally there. Yeah, that. I was trying to find that because I knew it was in the game. I knew it was somewhere, and I was like, where could it be? So, but yeah, it's very, very more focused around his kids. His personality doesn't come out too much in his apartment. He sort of stuck with grays and browns and tans, and just kept it really, really more simple. He didn't add like crazy colors. The kids stuff, they sort of bring the crazy colors out. And I sort of like that for that reason. Like, you know, I feel like if you walked into this place, you could tell that the kids were thought of first, or thought of more so. So you would probably understand that this person is very devoted to their kids, and, you know, trying to make sure to give them the best that they possibly could. Oh, my nose is like driving me insane today. Anyway, so in the downstairs, of course, is where the bedrooms are. And I also thought, I didn't really plan this necessarily when I first started doing this build, but after I was halfway through the teenage girl who's living on her own, and I was like, you know, it's actually probably a good thinking to put these two on the top and the two with the kids on the bottom. So, you know, the kids, like, yeah, of course they're young and they can get up the stairs easily, but at the same time, like, it's better not to have them as high up if you're having kids. So that was actually a good decision that I unintentionally did. So I do like how that turned out. But of course, if you do want to download this on your own, you can do it however you want. Make your own Sims and decorate the 4 separate apartments according to those Sims. If you ever do something like that, definitely feel free to tag me, like hashtag artistic gamer or whatever, in the gallery, and or tweet it over to me, and I definitely would love to see if y'all ever take any of my builds and change them or do anything different to them. Especially ones like this, where you can add quite a bit of personality and quite a few different personalities into the mix. So definitely, if you ever do something like that, please let me know. But I do, now back to the build anyway. I do actually focus, like, when I do the kids' rooms, I do get a little bit more detailed with them than I do a lot of the rest of the house. Especially the father's bedroom, I didn't get very detailed with his, just because, like I said, like, he does have sort of his own personality, but the way he is right now, he is very focused and geared more towards his kids and making sure, you know, they have what they need and what they want and make sure they're happy. And his room and his stuff come, like, last compared to everything. So I didn't spend a whole lot of time in his room, but I do spend a little bit more time in the kids' room. I have CCified this apartment as well, I believe. And his daughter is absolutely adorable. Like, I love her so much. There is an episode where I think she will appear in a little bit later. It's a Townie Life series, but it's not one where I'm actually here. But she does appear in a Townie Life series, I'm pretty sure. Also, note, if you do download this, that teddy bear that I put on the bed to make it look like it's tucked into the bedspread, after I went and played this, I realized that it actually causes an issue and they can't sleep in the bed. Normally things like pillows and stuff like that you put on the beds won't affect them. Of course, pillows come from CC, but you know, I thought it was really cute that she has like this teddy bear that she would be sleeping with every night. Well, you're gonna have to remove that teddy bear because otherwise she won't be able to sleep, or whoever. If you keep this room the way it is, the person that sleeps in that bed will not be able to sleep. So just keep that in mind. You'll have to remove that little teddy bear. But I thought it, looks wise, it's cute because it's like, you know, it's her little teddy bear she snuggles with and sleeps with at night. And she's got her little diary and journal. Now, her and the girl next door are completely different, and you'll see once I get to that apartment and that room. But I like these different personalities coming all together. That's part of the reason why apartments would be fun. But I like with this one, you have control of, like, the way I'm doing this layout. You have control of all the Sims at once, and you sort of get to see them interact all the time. Versus, you know, in apartments, half the time when you're interacting with your neighbors, they're taking out the trash or getting the mail, or making really loud noises that irritates your Sims to death. So, but anyway, now I'm on to the toddler's room. Now, I am not as detailed as the little girl's room, but it's hard to get detailed with toddler's rooms, honestly. I've been learning that, because I've recently done, like, a few builds that have toddlers in mind, and it's a little bit harder to do the toddlers' rooms to make them actually, like, super detailed, especially without CC. It is really, really hard. And I still want to use, like, the little thing that actually you can tell how tall they're getting on the wall. I still want to use the one for My First Pet stuff, but I really try not to use that pack. Just because out of all the packs, I know that is probably the one that most people don't have, just because of the whole thing with it. So I tried not to use that pack anytime I build, so if I do actually use it, sorry, it's probably only one or two things, so you can download it and know that you're just going to lose one or two things. So it's not going to be too big of a deal. Here's the balcony. Since theirs was underneath, I thought it actually was really, because there's actually shading up underneath there, so having some toys and things like that out there for the kids to play with and fool with during the day, I actually thought worked out really well, because, you know, the rain, if it rains or something like that, they won't really get a lot of rain down underneath there. Oh, I actually did show those. I guess, I don't know, I think I missed on the other two, or either I didn't show them long enough. Anyway, so this is the other apartment. Now, this is a single mom, actually, but she only has one daughter, and the daughter is about the same age as the girl in the other one. But this, basically, she is definitely more busy, What is that word? Businessy. And more like, let's make it look real nice and elegant and beautiful, and definitely she puts more time into actually making her stuff look really nice, so that if she has people over, they think that, you know, she has a lot of money, which probably out of all of them, she probably does have the most money out of all the people in this apartment complex, because of her business savviness and such. And like I said, she does have a daughter. Now, with the single dad, I imagine his was more of, like, a sad circumstances where he lost his wife in some sort of way. Her, I definitely get the vibe that her and her husband just split. So, that's sort of the vibe that I have with her, but she is very particular about things looking a little bit neater and looking a little bit nicer, and definitely having, like, a theme, and having it warm and inviting, but look fancy and elegant all at the same time. So she's probably got the most modern one, and I definitely think, like, when it comes to her and her daughter, they have a close bond, but not like a super close bond, because the way that I get the idea from these two is that the mom wants her daughter to be a certain way, and the daughter doesn't really want to be that certain way. So I can't remember what I named any of these Sims whatsoever, and it's really, really bothering me. But when I do play this household in, like, a Townie Life series, you'll get to see their personalities and get to see a little bit more of them. And more, like, understand more of what I am talking about when I say, like, how they act and stuff like that. It may be a while because, again, like I was stating earlier, the update and Get Famous are coming out real soon. Like, the update is, like, very, very imminent at this point. But so that means that I won't be having CC in my game for a little bit, which means I won't be on my main save, which is where this family is at. So we may not see them for a little while, but just know when we do see them, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So yeah, the daughter definitely, I think the mom sort of enforces like trying to dress all nice and good looking and like have this pink stuff, but the daughter doesn't want it. She still lets her daughter have the freedom and have like a little bit of what she wants, but she tries to basically influence what she does and what she wants, but it doesn't work, basically, is what the thing is. It doesn't work. But you'll see that more in the bedroom when we get to the little girl's bedroom. She's another, there's a few artsy types in here, but I think she's sort of like the type of way that she would, be more interested in getting to know and being friends with the teenage runaway upstairs versus the school teacher creative girl in the other apartment upstairs. So that's sort of the vibe that I get from the daughter. But as you can see, I use a lot of black and whites, but I do use a few tans and things like that to still try to bring some more of that coziness, but bring a little touch of, like, I guess modern is the best way. I just think immediately when I see a lot of black and white together, I always think modern. I don't know if that's technically the correct way of thinking, but that is how I do think. So, you can correct me if I am wrong, but again, I have struggles with this little living area because that half wall to go down the stairs is right there, and I'm like, are my Sims gonna actually legit be able to walk through that? I know a real human being would be able to walk through that, but is a Sim going to be able to compute that they could walk through that? They can. I have actually made sure that they can walk through it. Also, the aquarium I added there, I almost never use aquariums. I forget to use them half of the time, but I actually used the one in this build, and as you see, there's like a violin, a little piano set. Again, this is like the mother trying to influence the daughter to be great at like multiple things at once. Like, you know, you should do this, and you should do this, and you should be good at this. And I don't think the daughter really, like, she is creative, but I think she's definitely more into like drawing and stuff. I don't know if that will stay with her though for into her teenage and adult life, but as of right now, as a child, she is more into that drawly, artsy sort of thing versus like the music creative side. But her mom tries to enforce her being good at multiple things. Basically, she wants her daughter to be like a little young prodigy. I imagine with I don't know how Get Famous is gonna work, but I imagine that the mom would want the daughter to become famous in something or multiple things. But I don't know if the daughter really, really wants that. And this is me fixing the bedrooms, of course. Now, with the wallpaper with the daughter's room, at first I was like, should I make it be influenced by the mom, or should I let it be like the mom at least let the daughter pick something out? So I went with the daughter got to pick something out because I feel like the daughter would literally go insane if there's flowers all over her wall. So I didn't pick the options that I think the mother would have picked. So, but I think she still would be okay with it because it looks a little bit neat, the one that her daughter did pick. But with the mother's bedroom, I did again bring some more of those black and whites and try to make it look a little bit fancier, a little bit more like, yeah, I have money, but you know, obviously she doesn't have like enough money necessarily to get a house of her own, but she has enough money to splurge and make her bedroom and apartment look amazing, or maybe she just likes that apartment life. Really don't really know. But so she's got a fancy bed. She's got it set up a little bit more fancier, trying to look all nice. I gave her a few, like, they all have closets. All the big bedrooms have a closet attached to them. But I also gave her some more dressers because, again, I'd imagine she'd be the type that has, like, a lot of outfits, a lot of clothes, clothes for special events, business meetings, having to go out of town maybe for some sort of meeting. Those type of things. I imagine that she has many outfits to try to do on those things. And getting these candles and these shelves to be exactly where I wanted them stressed me out so much. I actually cut a little bit of that time out because I was trying to get them so even and so perfectly fit that it really annoyed me. But I finally got it to the point I was happy with it. So, and I did add like multiple of those little decoration boxes, but they're for the different considered for the different families, but technically if you use them, it's going to go in the whole entire apartment. So you'd imagine that those decoration boxes are for decorating the inside, not the outside, and that the outside's probably decorated by the person who owns the lot, whoever that person may be. But I'm still working on the mom's room. I definitely wanted to bring like a little bit of color with the black and whites, and I thought those greens and blues and aquas was really pretty. Now I'm on to the daughter's room, and as you see, I'm going to be picking some more darker tones, adding some reds and some purples in there. Basically, this child is like a mini version of me. To be really honest with you, because I'm like such a mixture of things. Like, I don't necessarily think you could classify me as like anything in particular. Like, I'm not girly, but I'm not girly. I'm not like tomboy, but I'm not tomboy. So, I think the one thing that everyone can agree on that actually I am like full-fledged in is being a nerd. But other than that, I have a mixture of things. Even my music is a mixture of things. But so, this is her room. I definitely wanted it to be like showing like her own style and like sort of her creativity while keeping maybe a little bit of her mom's decorating skills in there. But for the most part, she did let her daughter, even though she wants her to be, you know, maybe a certain way, she did let her daughter have freedom in her room. So she's at least nice about that. But I definitely wanted it to show that she is interested in art and things like that. So she does have like some little pieces and like little artworks and things like that. Most of them I try to make it look like little kid artworks and posters. But she does, you know, she does have like a favorite singer, so she is like a little bit into the music, but not like a whole lot. There's a little bit of that red. I'd say like she has more purple in her room and more red on like her clothing choices, but I do mix quite a bit of the reds and purples, which is literally my room right now, is red, purple, and black. But again, oh well, it's fine. It's cool. She's a little me at this point. It is okay. She does have some nail polishes. Like, I just add little details, and like, I try to make the room seem like she's wanting to have friends over and like they can chill and hang out in her room together, but you know, there isn't like a whole lot of room. I was experimenting with decorations on her wall as well. I tried to do something with these. I wish there was like some variation of placements in the stars in these, now that like I try to do something like that so that you can do something like that and make it look really cool. But in the end, I went with these and I changed like the colors basically around. Now the next spare room, I basically made it an office. So this is the mom's office where she does things and like gets on her computer and does all of her businessy things. Or Bisney things. That's a new word. Bisney. But I do actually put a little table over in the corner, because I would imagine that even though her daughter isn't like much like her mom, that she, you know, her mom's still encouraging this, so there is like a little tiny desk that I put over in the corner that's supposed to be like the daughter's desk, so like when mom's working on work and stuff like that, the daughter can be working on things as well. So it's a way that her mom can keep an eye on what she's doing on the computer, but also make her daughter feel like she's like a little bit special. Like, here's your own computer. You can do your stuff as well. But here are the screenshots of the whole entire build. Like I said, if you would like to download this build, it is on the gallery for you to download. It's called the New Salt Apartments, and is should be able to find it through looking up my user ID, which is ArtisticGamer7. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this build. Do you like the idea of this build and like having all these different people? I sort of took inspiration from some of my big collabs that I've done in the past with other people, but this is like with my own Sims and adding their style. Let me know if you're also looking forward to actually seeing these families and these Sims being played in the Townie Life series. I'm super excited to actually record. I've already been playing at it a little bit, but I'm excited to actually record the house and shit. So, anyway, all of my social media will be down in the description below, so you can go check those out. I definitely recommend Twitter being the big one to go check out. Also, all of my Sims 4 playlists, including the builds, playlist will be down in that description below so that you can go watch some other builds if you haven't seen some of my previous ones. So you can go watch those there. My origin ID also is down there, so if you forget or you're not sure how to spell it, it is down there for you to check that out. I do have a few builds actually being uploaded soon. Some of them might be uploaded before this one. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to be uploading them. So that builds playlist is going to be added to quite a bit recently. Also with Get Famous coming out, I am going to do some stuff specifically with it. So look forward to those things as well. I know I have at least 2 community lots and 2 residentials, which this is one of the residentials. I may have a 3rd residential that I haven't put up yet. I can't remember right off the top of my head. But I got into a building mood. I've been on a building mood on and off for a while now. But sometimes I have to work it around work, so yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. The screenshots, you know, they've been playing already for a while, and the bathrooms are included in those, so yeah, you didn't get to see them be built and put together, but they are in the screenshots here for your viewing pleasure. Let me know which of the apartments do you like the most? Is it the little studious teacher, the runaway rebellious teen, the single dad and his 2 kids, or the single business mom? Basically that's how I'm gonna categorize them. So which apartment section was your favorite? Which ones or would you be most excited to actually play in or play with? Or even the Sims themselves, who you were excited to see? You know, just chat with me in the comment section down below. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you're subscribed so that you see that next video. But anyway, bye bye!